So I'm sitting here. Well, first of all, good morning. I'm sitting here on my yoga mat. I just finished my sun salutations for this morning. And I'm inspired to do my vlog right now. I find myself quietly introspective, thinking a lot about who I am lately. Had a real tumultuous class yesterday in school, and the idea of identity came up a lot. And how a lot of so many facets of our lives that we ascribe to identity are not identity. They are expressions of an identity. We so often tell people what we do, and we do that as a way of explaining who we are. But we are not those things. We are not our feelings. We are not our failures. We are not our successes. We are not our... Like those things are expressions, or those things are causes from actions, but they're not who we are. You have to... one of my mottos, my creed, core belief, do what you can with what you have. Do the best you possibly can with what you have available right now. That doesn't mean don't try to improve things at some point if you're trying to improve things, right? And right now, what I have to just use, what we use as people to describe ourselves as our beliefs and our actions and our expressions of that identity. So what makes my yoga my yoga? This is a question I've been considering a lot as I look towards other yoga teachers. And that sentence there in and of itself is very important. Because if I'm speaking about me in a way where I'm letting me have space, then I readily use phrases to describe myself as a yoga teacher. Like that's a major transition. Not too long ago, I was a yoga teacher in training, and somewhere I stopped saying that and I started saying yoga teacher. That's not because I'm lazy, but it's because work's being done. So what would make someone want to gravitate towards my class as opposed to somebody else's class, aside from the time slot? I don't know yet, but I have some ideas. Have you seen this jaw? I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I mean, but it is a nice jaw. Yoga sees that there are 8 elements. One of the elements is space, as in presence of mind, to be present. And for a long time now, I've been on a fixation of this idea that space is important in and of itself, not only because of what can happen within a well-held space. And my ego got a little boost when I saw that, when I learned that space is considered one of the 8 elements of yoga. Like, I was like, I'm on to something, you know? I'm not just fixating on something because it feels good. So that's one element. Transitions. Have you ever, I mean, yeah, you've probably never heard this. The devil's in the details. That's not to say the details are bad. But the more I do sun salutations, the more I realize that there's spaces in movements for nuanced movement. And that bears more exploring for me in my practice and what I want to bring to the class. Let me say it to you in a different way. This might be really weird. You have an Afghan on your couch, right? It's a crocheted blanket or a knitted blanket. It's got holes in it, right? You can like see through it. The fabric does not keep you warm when you put it on your body. The yarn does not keep you warm when you put that on your body. You're sitting on the couch, you drape this thing over yourself. That's not how it keeps you warm. The yarn holds space for warm air to stay right there. It's the same effect as hair on our bodies. A different scale. It's this blanket of warm air that's in this space created by the yarn that keeps you warm, that insulates you. And I feel like that's what I'm trying to do. I wish to set and hold a space for other people to do, to learn, to grow, to find, to seek, to sweat, to question. One of my pet peeves in the universe is if somebody says, you know, why do you do that? And the person says, I don't know, I guess I just like it. How about no? I reject that answer. Why do you like it? What is it you like? You like the way it feels, you like the way it smells, you like the way it tastes, you like the way it makes you feel. How does it make you feel? Why does that feeling make you feel good? One of my first videos, I mentioned something about how you can break down every posture into smaller pieces until you can build whatever you want. And then I related that to anything else. You can break down anything into little pieces and reflect upon it and what it is and how and why and where. And you can extrapolate outward from there. That goes for thoughts. One of the most astounding things that I've ever experienced in my life is how profoundly accessible transformation is achieved through yoga. Because it's me making and holding space for me to do these physical postures and examine how I feel and how they feel from me. Because we can break the physical practice down, we can get into Warrior One and feel within inside our bodies and say, my knee doesn't feel right. Why? This is why. How do I fix it? This is how it's fixed. Now this doesn't feel right. Or this feels good. Or how do I do this? And we pull these little threads until we've made our own little tapestry. But when those physical postures start to feel more comfortable, we start to move into different space and we start thinking of other things where we can find unnecessary tension and start working those threads as well. Why did I say that to the cashier? Why did I do that thing at the drive-thru? Why did this person say to me like this? How do I feel about that? And it's not anybody else doing that. We're not standing up in the spotlight and a bunch of people drilling us with a bunch of questions. We're able to create and hold a space for ourselves to look at our actions with our discerning mind. And learn to get to know ourselves better. And through that process, to make tiny incremental changes to live our best life. Or not. That's like one of the best parts is or not. Sometimes I just want to go to the studio and have it cranked up to 105 and just blast through like as many Chaturanga Dandasana as I can manage. Sometimes you just want to be in your physical self and not do any of that furniture moving and heavy lifting and thought processing. And you can do that. Your practice can be whatever you want it to be. It can be whatever you need it to be. It can be whatever you make it to be. There is no conclusion here. Mostly because my life's not over yet. I still have a long way to go, a lot of thoughts to think, many, many experiences to have. I am, for right now, closing in on what my yoga is and how it presents in the class, how other people will see it. And that's an important thing to consider because I'm teaching class tomorrow in the studio and I should kind of like maybe have an idea as to what I'm going to do. I mean, I do, but it takes a while. First you teach what you've learned and then you teach what you know and you teach your truths, right? There's like a process. And I am anxious, but in a good way. At least that's what I'm telling myself. If you've stayed this long for my rant, I am thankful. I'm grateful for your attention, so thank you. Thank you for sharing my practice with me today. Namaste.